Hey guys, and welcome back to Mika Reacting Reviews, where we reacting to things on the internet. Same day, same shirt, a different video. And today we're going to be talking about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp saga, but I want to talk about it with a little bit of a different spin and not just completely focus just on the court case and what's going on right now with Johnny Depp suing and all the evidence that came out about Amber Heard and all those things. I want to talk about like what their relationship is, how is a reflection on society itself, and I want to talk about it in a few different ways. So some of the things that came out to light about Amber Heard's and Johnny Depp's relationship is Amber Heard's sort of attachment style and her way of dealing with issues in a relationship, which is to fight for your love kind of thing. And even if it's a toxic or aggressive or abusive, it's almost like if I'm willing to fight to the death, then it's proof that how much I love you. It's proof that how much passion I have for this relationship.
You can't run away every fight. It's not brave. It's not strong.
I don't want to, because I don't want to fucking fight.
You run away every single fight. Want to make it easy on you, so you split. You don't fight for me. You don't fight when there's a problem.
And how did you come to the understanding that on some occasions Miss Heard physically abused Mr. Depp?
Miss Heard reported that.
What did Miss Heard report to you?
It was a point of pride to her if she felt disrespected to initiate a fight. If he was going to leave her to de-escalate from the fight, she would strike him to keep him there. She would rather be in a fight than have him leave.
And it's a very common thing when a man tries to sort of leave the discussion. Maybe we feel like you don't care enough to continue this or solve this issue, or you're abandoning us.
I know she led on more than one occasion and started it to keep him with her, because abandonment and having him leave was her worst nightmare.
And so we have a tendency to sort of like fight to get you to stay where you are, blocking the door, holding on to you, continuing the conversation when it's already been dead or something like that. When the guy knows how he feels inside and he's trying to remove himself so he doesn't do or say anything that he is going to regret or put him in prison, right?
You seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you. I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
that's different.
fucking else at me.
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on whether or not you come knocking on the door?
Because that is a fucking irrational and violent fucking maneuver. So a man would want to get out of that area so that he doesn't get so fucking angry that he actually does pop the fucking wife.
But I think like it's really common in today's age with like millennials and Gen Zers, and I think they call it struggle love, right? It's like trying to romanticize the idea of toxic relationships by, if I'm willing to stay with you through all the struggle, through all the BS, through all the bullshit, through all the abuse, through all the cheating, through all of it, then it proves to you and it proves to each other, to ourselves, how much we really love each other, because we fought through all the toxicity and we stayed together even if it wasn't the most healthy thing to do. And I think is a really dangerous way to start having relationships. Even with that one show that Zendaya's in, I know that it's like really popular. I forget the name of it. It's put it on a screen, but I feel like it's another one of those shows that sort of romanticize toxic sort of relationships or struggle relationships or struggle love.
It wasn't the violence that scared her. It was the fact that she knew no matter what he did, she'd still love him.
You're fucking dead to me.
Saying love is a million things. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't. The one thing I know is that Nate loves me no matter what. He'd fucking kill for me and I'd kill for him. It feels good to know that there's one person in this whole fucked up world who has my back.
I think a lot of reality TV shows like Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and stuff like that has also romanticized and promoted the idea of struggle love. And also like ignoring the fact that a lot of struggle love type of relationships is more of codependency and not actual love. It's not healthy love, or it's not well-rounded love. And I don't know, I think it stems from a lot of people's childhoods. A lot of people attachment styles come from their childhood. A lot of what they've seen growing up they just repeat in their relationships. relationships, and if they don't have an example of healthy love or healthy ways of communicating with the person you love, then they just repeat that behavior in their own relationships. I mean, I think it was said that like Johnny Depp has repeated his way of dealing with Amber Heard's toxicity and aggression the same way he dealt with his mother aggression, because apparently his mother was abusive.
Depp's sister Christy testified that she and Johnny were victims of abuse at the hands of their mom when they were growing up.
None of what was happening in our home felt good.
And he, instead of fighting back, which most children don't really fight their parents back, but he would just escape, run away, which is really understandable for a child. So he's taking that same thing, and when Amber Heard gets really aggressive or violent, then he just sort of retreats and run away, because that's the same thing that he did as a child. But I think a lot of men would do that because they don't want to be caught in a situation where they are looked at as the abuser themselves, because we know how our society is. Like, you can be a woman and punch on a man in the face multiple times, but once a guy defends them and punches back, then he is the abuser, right? And that takes me to the next thing of like mutual toxicity in relationships. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this. In my opinion, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's relationship most likely was mutually toxic on both sides.
They engaged in what I saw as mutual abuse.
Now, you can argue the fact that Amber Heard was more abusive and more toxic towards Johnny Depp than he was to her.
You fucking hit me last night. You fucking...
You can't run away every fight.
I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
Those are different.
whatever
That's
the
different.
fucking else at me.
That's different. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really? Did you just fucking... Did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick... Did you? Did you?
You
Stop.
don't investigate
Stop with
study.
the attitude.
You had
You
last
fucking
night.
got physically violent with me. I texted Travis. I said, come up here. You punched
hit
me.
you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched. No, when you fucking have a closed
You
fist.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights.
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the fuck up.
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to get the
Because-
fuck out of there.
Yeah.
If things get physical, we have to separate.
No,
Yeah. There can be no physical violence.
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad. I lose.
But I believe it was mutual. Johnny Depp, I think he even admitted to it or not, but I think it's known that he had a substance abuse problem, struggling still, or he's sober. I'm not really sure, but you can't have a substance abuse problem in a relationship and not be adding any toxicity to that relationship whatsoever. So I do think it was mutual, but I do think on Amber Heard's side, she was the violent aggressor towards Johnny Depp, and he, probably wasn't helping the situation by, being intoxicated in their relationship. But I also feel like in society, like I just sort of pointed out a second ago, it's like it's almost seemed like if you have a mutually toxic relationship, the woman is never really seen as a perpetrator. It's like the man is still the abuser, right? Even if it's mutual, even if the girl was beating and yelling and screaming and doing all the things wrong, but as soon as the guy adds to it, it's like he is always the one that seems more responsible than the female in the relationship. And I think that's because men are usually more physically stronger than women, and so we sort of dismiss the aspect of psychological, emotional, and mental abuse, which is my next point to this, is that we overlook the ways that women abuse men. Women aren't physically stronger than men usually anyway. I mean, women can use weapons and stuff like that, but usually men can overpower women. And I'm not saying that the physical abuse that Amber Heard did onto Johnny Depp didn't physically hurt him, but as someone who suffered through all types of abuse in my childhood, I can tell you that even though the physical abuse physically hurt and it left scars, I would say the mental, psychological, emotional torture that I experienced in the child abuse is more long lasting than any physical abuse, right? And so I feel like we very much overlook the ways women can be the aggressor because we're not doing it physically, we're doing it sort of mentally and emotionally. We're doing it by mob culture. Women are very good at sort of getting a gang on their side to sort of be their like their cheerleaders, to you go girl, men ain't trash kind of thing.
Women, girls, however, they are more aggressive than males if you measure aggression differently. They use reputation destruction. Well, we've seen what happens with social media. Physical aggression doesn't translate to social media, but reputation destruction, that translates to social media unbelievably well. So maybe it's time to have a little chat about toxic femininity.
And so I feel like what Amber Heard and Johnny Depp has shown us about society is that females' ways of being aggressive is kind of acceptable in society, or being abusive is kind of acceptable in society, that this idea of struggle love is sort of conflated with healthy relationships and healthy love, that codependency is conflated with healthy love, and romanticized is romanticized in movies and television shows and reality shows and stuff like that. We are failing to show ourselves and the younger generation of what healthy, well-rounded love looks like. I actually have a friend, I'm not going to mention this person's name, and if you see this video, please forgive me, but I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. But I have a friend that is in a relationship, and I had my suspicions, but I wasn't sure, but I witnessed with my own eyes some physical abuse. And when I tried to talk to this friend about this, it was kind of like their attitude towards it was like, well, that's just relationships. You can't expect them to be perfect. They're not all rainbows and daisies. And I'm like, relationships aren't supposed to be abusive. And even saying that, well, it could have been worse. They could have done worse to me or something like that. And in coming from a place of like, at least this person is staying with me, that must prove that they love me, right? But I think, again, people conflate codependency with love and don't understand, even if someone is attached to you, it doesn't mean they know how to actually properly love you, or what love really looks like, or the person even receiving it understands what love is supposed to feel like, and sort of accepts whatever they get, because again, they don't have any good examples of what a healthy, well-rounded loving relationship is supposed to look like. And I'm not saying that relationships are supposed to be easy. I'm not saying they're supposed to be rainbows and daisies and you're floating on butterflies all day long. Of course they're supposed to be hard, but they're not supposed to be abusive. They're not supposed to be psychological, mentally, emotionally abusive and damaging. They're not supposed to be torture. No one's supposed to be like throwing glass bottles at you and cutting off the tips of your finger. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good relationship. In my opinion, as soon as someone purposely tries to hurt you, physically, emotionally, mentally, anything like that, that you've crossed the line, you've crossed the boundary, and the relationship is therefore over. Unless it's literally like a one-off, this is not a repeated behavior, they got drunk, or I'm not trying to blame alcohol, but let's just say like it was really a one-off and you can work on it fine. But if it's repeated behavior, for me, the relationship is done. I don't think just because Johnny Depp is getting a lot of support right now is any proof that our society has gotten better when it comes to giving both men and women the benefit of the doubt and trying to hear both sides of the story instead of just believe all women because they have vaginas. I think the only reason why Johnny Depp is getting support is because he had a mountain of evidence. I think if it wasn't for those recordings that we've all heard, if you've been following the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard story, I think without those recordings, Johnny Depp would have been burned to the stake, down to dust, and thrown away and never talked about again.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
Have I ever been able to knock you off of your feet?
You started.
Off your balance?
You started these things.
You are going to get up on the stand, Johnny, and say she started it? Really? I have never been able to overpower you. That's the difference between me and you.
Why did you try?
And that's the difference that the whole world and that a jury and that a judge will see, is that there is a very big difference between me and you.
Like, even though now, yes, his career has been badly damaged, and there will be people that would always see him as an abuser, but I think that it would have been 100 times, 1,000, a million times worse if he didn't have that evidence, because again, we live in a society where believe all women, and I think that the female privilege is that they are giving more of the benefit of the doubt when it comes to situations like this over men all the time. And I think it also stems from, like, yeah, there was a time and place in our society where domestic violence was a bigger deal than it is now. And I think that, I mean, at some point it wasn't even illegal for a husband to beat their wives. And I wouldn't say that it was like an epidemic, but it was a problem. And I think what we did is overcorrect, like we always do, and take it too far, where again, hashtag believe all women came across. And for me, it's like, if you want to say men and women are equal, that means if men lie, women can lie too. It's not like all the women in prison have just all been blackmailed by men. Women can lie. Women do lie. That's why when stories like this come out, unless you have a personal relationship with that person, you should wait to see the evidence be revealed before you make your assumptions or your judgments. Of course, if someone's your friend or family, you're going to believe them because you want to be there for them. But I think as a society, as the public, we should hold our opinions. That's about it. That's all I really wanted to talk about with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I think their relationship type and structure is actually fairly common. I think a lot of people live in very mutual, toxic, struggle love type of relationships, and if it ever gets exposed, usually the man gets all the blame and the woman kind of gets coddled. But yeah, tell me what you think about this whole situation, what I said about the whole situation with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Let me know in the comment section below. Anything that you think I like missed or completely missed the mark on, let me know in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notification when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop, links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day.